August 2024, NASDAQ analysis and astrology. Could this be a bullish rest of the year? Welcome back to the Crypto Astro channel, bringing a radical, innovative new approach to market analysis. I combine technical analysis with astrology, and so far the correlations have been mind-blowing, I'm telling you guys. Pretty darn accurate for the last year and a half. I'll give my NASDAQ astrology at the end of the video. Also, please use caution in the comments below, as there have been many spam bots, unfortunately, promoting false crypto projects that you should not pay attention to. But none of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Let's take a look at the charts, shall we? Okay, so I'm looking at the NASDAQ here. This is on the monthly. And we're holding up, we're getting a correction. But still holding up pretty well. We'll see what's in store. But take a look at this channel that I found. So taking it all the way back from the COVID low, it also hit this channel in October 2022. And then the next few months into January 2023. And so far we haven't gotten back down to there. But that is a level to pay attention to if we go much lower. But then we take that channel up to this peak back in November 2021, and then we just hit that. We just poked above it right here before we're getting that correction. So it seems like we are getting rejected off of that level right there. So that's very, very interesting. We are heading down. We are right at the 21 SMA. So if we're hitting this yellow line here, that's the 21 SMA. We're bouncing off it a bit. So we'll see how that holds up. If we do go lower, we also have a little trend line here, and we could potentially hit that. We'll see how things go. I also made a 50% line from the peak all the way down to this bottom back in October 2023. And we are pretty far from that. So those are potential levels of support. Right now, we're like I said, we're hitting that 21 SMA. That could be support, as we have. Let's look how far we've dumped so far. We have dumped about 9.75%. If we look at previous dumps, we, back in 2023, July through October, we did dump a total of 11%. So we could possibly have a little bit more to go. Let's see how much we dumped back in April. It happened pretty fast. And that dump was about, that was only 8%. If we go further back in history, when we're hitting peaks in a bull run, this one right here is about almost 12%. This one over here was 13%, almost 14%. This one was about 8%. So, give or take, maybe 10% on average. So we're just about at that level. We could have a little bit more to go. If we got some major crazy dump like COVID, that'd be a black swan event. That went down 30%. So that would probably be the worst case scenario. 30% would take us down to that level there. That would be 14,453, which would still be a higher low based on, let's see. Yeah, it'd still be a higher low based on this macro swing bottom here at 14,000. So we'd actually still be in a bull run, because we'd still be making higher lows, and then even if we came down there, we could bounce off of there. All right, but that's pretty much the worst case scenario. Most likely we're going to, we'll have to have to keep my eyes on this in the coming days and weeks, because we could even be getting a bounce off of here, but we'll see. Certainly not guaranteed. Okay, what else shall we look at? Let me check. One thing that was also really interesting, I go above and beyond on this channel. If you're into crypto, I know a lot of people on my channel are. I talk a lot about Bitcoin on this channel. I made a chart, Bitcoin versus the NASDAQ. So we see that historically, you know, there's certain periods where Bitcoin outperforms and then goes in a bear market. Bitcoin outperforms, goes in a bear market. Bitcoin is outperforming ever since September of last year. We did get this major dump here, but on the monthly, I made a trend line, and we're still holding above that. So if we continue to go up, we could continue an upwards trend. If we do break through that, that would be more concerning. If we did end this month down here, and then we're under here, that would be more bearish for Bitcoin in the short term, at least. But yeah, I thought this was an interesting chart. I thought it looked like a nice chart here, just for the crypto cycles. So far, Bitcoin is still outperforming the NASDAQ, still in an uptrend. So we'll see how the monthly closes, which is going to be very soon, next 24 hours or so. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. We could look at the DXY, the strength of the dollar compared to other currencies. It has been on a bit of... There's a lot of resistance on this trend line here, and it just got rejected in June. And we have been heading down. So yeah, it looks like we are having a bit of a downtrend here. So that is potentially good for the markets, as crypto and the NASDAQ tends to pump when the dollar is weak. So that's looking good. We'll have to see yeah, how it does in the next, well, what the monthly close is. Let's see where we're at in the monthly. Yeah, so we got a big rejection on the monthly there. Still holding up quite a bit, so we'll see where the monthly close is with that. But yeah, we could get more sideways action here. But one thing we don't want to see is if it just comes right out of here and gets above that trend line. Whoopsies. So if it, this would not be so good for our portfolios in the short term. If it goes up here and it bounces above there, we could see markets tank. But we're not seeing that. It's looking weak right now, so that is good for us investors for the short term so far. All right. Now I'm going to be looking at the astrology here. But if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you haven't seen my videos before, or if you have been watching my videos, definitely hit that subscribe button. Support the channel. I'm been doing a lot more analysis of the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, as well as the main topics, Bitcoin and crypto and altcoins. Let me show you this really interesting image here. This chart. So the NASDAQ composite election year seasonal pattern, 1971 to 2023. The blue line is all election years. We are in an election year. The green line is the sitting president running. I thought that was the case at first, but now it looks like, you know, Mr. Biden stepped out. So we might not be able to follow that one. The blue one is STA aggregate cycle, and the purple line is where we are today. Now, we are getting a bit of a correction over here. So imagine it going out a little bit more. We're getting a healthy correction. And that's healthy because if we look over here at this area of the chart, there typically is a correction towards the end of July heading into August. Typically, August is bullish. If we look at I guess we can't look at the green line because the sitting president is not running. But even the black line is pretty bullish August into September. And then take a look at the end of September. We get a correction heading into October, and then a pump up. So that could be what we could see this year. And if there is an all-time high, according to this, could be in September before it corrects down, and we might not break through that all-time high again until the very end of the year, like end of December. So that's really interesting to note. Okay. Now, if you're interested, let's take a look at the astrology. So I'm one of the few people in the world that look at this. We're going to look at the NASDAQ astrology. Sorry, that's render right there. That is an altcoin. We're looking at the NASDAQ. So if you don't understand, don't worry. I'll explain everything. So this is based on the moment the NASDAQ was born. Wow, it's actually my birthday, February 8th. Back in 1971 when it went live on the New York stock market. And we can look at, so this is literally where the planets were at that moment when it was listed. And we can look at the dynamic transits of what transits are hitting this particular chart. And so where the planets are in the sky right now, what transits are they making with the NASDAQ chart specifically? And the amazing thing is I have found some incredible correlations over the years, particularly with Bitcoin and crypto, but this can also work for NASDAQ, maybe even the S&P 500. All right, so in July, let's see. Yeah, there are some things that we're pointing towards a correction. This one right here, Jupiter opposite the NASDAQ Mars, that's negative. We got that hit on July 10th. Around the time we're getting the correction, and we also have this negative transit coming in. It's direct hit on August 21, but it's been in effect ever since mid to early July 8th. That's negative as well. Let's look at the chart real quick. When did we start getting the correction? Oh my gosh, right on the day, guys. This is what I'm telling you. This stuff is incredible. This astrology. Right on the day that we got this negative hit. Jupiter opposite the NASDAQ Mars, negative hit. That was literally the peak of the market. Unbelievable. And then we dumped after that. Wow. I love this stuff, guys. Good news is that we are getting a string of positive transits. Particularly, okay, we got a good positive hit on July 26th. Jupiter trining the NASDAQ Uranus. So we could get some more life, but so far it's not showing enough to get us out of the woods yet. Good news is heading into September, we're getting a little bit of a bullish hit here. Mars trining the NASDAQ Mars, but we're not getting a direct hit. But then we're getting Saturn sextiling the NASDAQ Saturn, which is positive September 6th. And another positive hit on September 2nd, Jupiter trining the NASDAQ Sun. So that actually lines up really well with the hypothesis. I'm giving you guys the goods. We went all the way through August and we jumped into September, giving you extra credit. So definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like this value that I'm giving to you. This is priceless. Okay, let's look at the chart. But that was similar to what I was talking about here, where just like I was saying, we could get a peak in September. Wow, and that lines up perfectly what the astrology is showing here. This is mind-blowing, guys. Before we could get a correction, potentially September dumping into October, which is also when the eclipses are happening in late September and then early October, which tend to mark a major market shift, which could signify when we're getting those dumps before a strong end of the year. But like I said, according to this chart, it didn't get an all-time high again until the very end of December. So that's really interesting to note. All right, what do you guys think of this information? Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, yeah, I mean, things are lining up. That is incredible. Can't make this stuff up, guys. Some other interesting things to note. Let's see. August 4th, we're getting a new moon. So I look at the planets on the outside. That's literally where the planets are in the sky right now. And I look at when the next new moon is. New moons can be significant. They mark a new kind of shift for the month. We are getting a positive new moon sextile the NASDAQ Uranus. But then we're getting Mercury retrograde. On the new moon, there's also Mars opposite the NASDAQ Mars. That's a bit negative. So we get one positive, one negative. Then when Mercury retrogrades, coming up around August 5th, that's Mercury right there. When it turns red, it's retrograding. It's going to square the NASDAQ Jupiter and then square the NASDAQ Neptune. So that's a bit negative. Could get some more sideways action potentially. We might not get a major pump. We could even get a dump. Could get a continued dump. And that's around, let me see when that is. Mercury squares the NASDAQ Jupiter. So we look for the NASDAQ Jupiter right here. Yeah, that's right around here. So right around August 6th, we could potentially get a little dump. I don't know how significant it will be, or sideways action. But it might not be much of a dump because at the same time it's trining the NASDAQ Venus. So Venus is also at 3 degrees, which is the same degree that Mercury retrograde is at right here on August 6th. So perhaps we're actually not going to dump very much, or maybe we just sideways action. But we're getting, looks like potentially more positive hits. We're getting one positive, 2 positive hits, but then we're also getting some squares. So it might just be some sideways action. Not necessarily getting a major pumps. August 14th, major astrology. We're getting the Mars conjunct Jupiter, but then Mars is squaring Saturn August 15th, which isn't looking so great. That's the general astrology. That has nothing to do with the NASDAQ. So hopefully this isn't going too over your head, but yeah, we are getting some negative transits around August 15th. We could see events on the world stage. Could see some negative events. We could have some challenges in our lives that we're facing. Jupiter is squaring Saturn on August 19th. So continued challenges and when we get that full moon. So August 19th is not a great day, not getting good astrology. I believe that's when the convention that's the Democratic convention. So not good astrology for then. We'll see how things go with Harris. But we get a full moon in Aquarius squaring Uranus with the moon opposite Mercury. Jupiter is also squaring Saturn and Venus is opposite Saturn. Not good energy. So we'll see how that affects markets. Yeah, it might not be very good for markets. Could get a dump. We'll see. So the second half of August overall is not looking good. So we're probably not going to get any major pumps or anything like that. That's what I'm seeing. So if you guys are enjoying this content, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want to get access to me, much deeper analysis, if you want to ask me if you want me to ask me questions about the NASDAQ chart specifically, and you want to get some time with me, you can join the Crypto Astro Mastermind. So I talk a lot about crypto, but I also look at the macro markets and the NASDAQ, S&P 500, do deep technical analysis, as well as take a look at the astrology. I can tell you what things are looking like for the next couple years with the NASDAQ. So if you guys want that information, if you want to ask me everything, all of your questions, then get signed up for the Crypto Astro Mastermind. Click the link below. You do get a discount, I believe, till the end of this month. So you only have about 24 hours. Get an amazing lifetime access discount. Join the group. You'll get a monthly group call with me and so much incredible value. And also, if you're a crypto investor, you'll get a ton of free masterclasses sent straight to your inbox right when you sign up. To be exact, it's 3 masterclasses on altcoins, Bitcoin astrology, you're going to absolutely love it. I tell you what the astrology is showing for Bitcoin and altcoins for the next 12 months approximately. Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let me see if there's any comments before I head out. What are my favorite astrology, great crypto alt? Okay. Yeah, so definitely sign up for the Crypto Astro Mastermind if you want to get all my altcoin picks. You'll get that masterclass sent to your email inbox immediately. I give my top, I think it's about 8 altcoin picks that I am investing in, but not financial advice. You got to make your own financial decisions based on your psychology and what works best for you. Thank you. My astrology is amazing. So yeah, thanks so much for the positive words. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Much love to you guys, and I will see you very soon on the next video. Thanks for watching.